I want to, in fact, show some footage from last night where an officer was caught on camera aggressively pointing a gun at a protester. This has been recently uploaded to YouTube. Take a look at this.
My hands are up, bro. My hands are up.
Hands up. Hands up. Gun raised and pointed. Raised and pointed at the civilian. Hands up.
Kill you. Get back.
Hands up.
Get back.
You're gonna kill him.
He's trying to kill him. He's
Okay,
trying to...
get back.
What's your name, sir? Your name's go yourself, all right? Yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, officer. Go yourself.
Officer, go yourself. He's trying to kill me.
I hope you guys are watching. He had to be told by another officer.
Now, that officer had been suspended for his actions. Lauren, how do we deal with actions like that when people are saying that I'm a little confused. Again, every night I'm trying to get my head around this.
I know.
The police say they need to be like that, but then when you see that kind of excessive force, you wonder...
But Dr. Drew, that's not protocol. You can't do that to citizens that are protesting. You hear someone going, I've got my hands up, I've got my hands up. This is unacceptable. And the truth is, if an officer would do that, when you know there's cameras everywhere, coverage, people with cell phones, you would behave that way to a citizen. I mean, my heart is beating out of my chest just watching it.
Right.
I fear for that person. And if that officer is in the position where that's the only way he can conduct himself, he doesn't need to be in the environment. And I'm thankful that other cops kind of backed him up. But this is what people are saying are happening. And we need to stop dismissing them like they're overreacting or they're somehow causing these situations. They are telling you, they are telling us, the police are mistreating us. They are antagonizing us. They are intimidating us. And then there are certain people that are, unfortunately, acting out the wrong way and being violent towards the police. But this is scary.
Back with Sam, Vanessa, Lauren, Leanne. We are monitoring the situation there in Ferguson, Missouri. I'm going to go back to Stephanie in just a minute. Stephanie Elam. I love that guy. I think he's doing a great job. But before I get into the job that I think he's doing, I want to bring up what I just said at the end of the last segment. I'm going to ask you, Lauren, what is the end game here? I mean, what's this going to take to settle this thing down? How do you make it stop? And when are people going to feel that they've had some satisfaction? Last night we decided we'd had to have conversation. I don't know. We had conversation. We moved things a little bit forward. Where do we need to go with this?
It's got to be dialogue. And I was reflecting over the break about Vanessa's comment about how we want to get away from constantly talking about the fear. You know, I wish we could put this in a Tiffany box with a beautiful white bow and give it like it was a gift. But that's not how life happens. And the violence and the fear are directly connected. And ultimately, fear is going to be in that courtroom if this ends up going to trial because the officer is going to say, I was in imminent fear of my life.
But what if it doesn't? Lauren, what if it doesn't? What if they decide there was nothing here?
This is my point. This is exactly my point. At some point, we have to begin to dialogue about that fear, about the fear we see.
Here we are.
But look,
we're here tonight.
But Dr. Drew, because look, let me say this before I close. This same young man, tall in stature, looks like my nephew or my husband or what my son will probably go up to look like. You put a helmet and a jersey on him, and instead of being feared, he's revered. People have a problem with black men being feared so automatically. What we need to know as a community is what was this young man doing? And we're hoping the evidence shows us that made this officer so fearful that he would shoot to kill. Witnesses are saying he was running away and still being shot at. We do not understand. We need answers, and answers require dialogue, but dialogue requires the truth, because we're not falling for the okie doke.
It requires facts. We need facts.
Dr. Drew, I think we have to acknowledge that part of this fear is that the community doesn't feel like it will get the truth. And so as we talk about dialogue and trying to find it, look, there's so many issues here. People are even calling for the prosecutor to recuse himself because his father was shot by a black man 50 years ago and when he was on the police force, because they don't feel even this prosecutor will fight for the truth as much as maybe an independent prosecutor. It is mind-boggling how many layers there are to this situation. Dr. Drew.
Yes.
So how are we supposed to look at society as black people when we see what happens? How are we supposed to look at this case?
Yeah,
and this is what this case is about. Michael Brown. This is what this case is about.
Listen, and you're raising all of my concerns that I've been sort of doing in tonight, which is where do we go with this? And Lauren, I'd defer to you. Can you help Ty answer that question for me, or can you answer that question on my behalf?
Oh, I wish. It's the $1 million question. Where we go from here is through the process, and hopefully it will be handled.
Yeah, but Ty is saying he can't have he's lost faith in the process.
This is exactly what I just said. This is what I said last segment, Drew. I know that. I can see it in the community. They're protesting. They're upset. Even the looters who are acting crazy and violent. People are so outraged and upset because they feel like they don't have a voice, they have no recourse, and no one is hearing them. But Ty, what I would like to hear from you, because I hear your passion and I am just so sorry for your loss. What would you say to Officer Wilson if he's listening now? Because he's still a free man.
And that in itself to me is so ridiculous that he's still out there.